Hello, I am really excited for this video because I have possibly my favorite deck that I have ever brewed for this channel. I've had such an amazing time brewing this deck and playtesting this deck, and I am so excited to show it to you. I've been really interested in the Landfall stuff in Historic for a while. In Standard, it's been proven that the Landfall package of Chocobo, Badgermaul Cub, and Earthbender's Ascension, along with Ouroboros, which isn't a Landfall card but plays really well in green, is incredibly powerful. And Standard is so powerful right now that these really powerful cards in Standard really translate well into these older formats. And they also play really nicely with some really powerful landfall effects that Historic has, such as Scythecat Cub, which doubles all your +1/+1 counters on your creatures, Springheart Nantuko, which can clone your creatures, and Bristly Bill, which is a redundant but slightly worse version of Scythecat Cub. So I had this core of this landfall deck that was pretty good, but it was a little bit slow. But if there's one thing you notice about all of these creatures is that they deal with +1/+1 counters, which means they play amazingly with Hardened Scales. Hardened Scales was the boost that this deck really needed to just give this deck that boost into the stratosphere with power level. I mean, play a Chocobo on 1, play Hardened Scales on turn 2 and a fetch land, this thing's already a 4/5. Then on turn 3 you play a Scythecat Cub, another fetch land, and all of a sudden you're hitting them for over 20 damage. But the real heart and soul of this deck is a little alchemy card that I'm sure a lot of you have never seen before, because every single time I play it, everyone highlights it and reads it, and that is Hardened Bonds. Whenever you put a +1/+1 counter on a creature you control, seek a creature, it perpetually gets +1/+1, and that ability triggers once per turn. This card is disgusting. I cannot overstate how broken this card is. This card just gives you infinite gas in the late game, and it just plays so nicely with every single card in this deck. It makes Ouroboros come down as a 2/4, which means it instantly gives all of your creatures 2 +1/+1 counters, which also happens with Hardened Scales, which just makes Ouroboros even more powerful than it already is. Also, if you have a fetch land with any of your cards that give +1/+1 counters when you play a land, you can trigger this on your turn and on the other turn, drawing you 2 creature cards with 1 fetch land. And yes, it even does trigger off of your Earthbending, as it makes the creature into a 0/0 and then puts the +1/+1 counters on it. I do have some notable omissions from this deck. Notably, I'm playing Ignoble Hierarch as our mana dork, as opposed to like Exploration or a Boreal Grazer. This was because, although we do want to be a landfall deck that plays lands, we want to play our lands after we've played our Chocobos and our Bristly Bills and our Scythecat Cubs, and therefore playing extra lands on turn 1 is actually not really what this deck wants to do, but I found that having an extra mana on turn 1 to have turn 2 Scythecat Cub into fetch land, for example, is just really good. Additionally, I had Icetill Explorer in this deck for a very long time, pretty much until the very end. While Icetill is really good at grinding out the game, this deck really doesn't need to just loot fetch lands every single turn. You have 11 of them, so you draw them pretty often. And I just found that Icetill was not aggressive enough to close out the game for a deck that really wants to close the game out as fast as possible. The last thing I want to say about the main deck is that Bossing Say continues to be absolutely disgusting. It works with Hardened Scales, and it's also just really good with Hardened Bonds, because even if they wrath the board, you just have this 2-card engine that draws you an extra card every turn. This deck really beats up on all the fair decks in the format. Our creatures are just so much bigger, they're hard to remove with red removal, and we're able to really outgrind control with Hardened Bonds, and so our sideboard is really set up to be anti-combo. Specifically, we have the full 4 Damping Sphere and the full 4 Endurance. I've been running into a lot of Ruby Storm and a lot of Reanimator, and so I'm going full 8 on these effects. We've got Stone of E-Reach for the same combo decks. I've got 3 Pithing Needles because I've also been running into a lot of Charbelcher, and 2 Force of Vigors because Force of Vigor is just one of the best cards in the format in your sideboard. And so that's the deck. This deck is incredibly fun. I'm so excited to show it to you. I'm taking it into this traditional Historic event, and we'll see how it plays. Okay, match 1 on the play. We have a very interesting starting hand. We have both of our enchantments, but we have our Springheart Nantuko, which is the only landfall creature that doesn't deal with counters. I do think we keep this. We have the Ouroboros. If we draw any +1/+1 counter creature, this hand's great. Springheart Nantuko, while it doesn't deal with counters, is very good with Ouroboros specifically, because it just poops out so many creatures. I found that Scales is the better one to play on turn 1 specifically. Okay, we're going to just play Hardened Bonds and play our Fabled Passage, and we're going to pass to play around Stifle, with the idea of next turn we're going to play Springheart into fetch land. Okay, they're just going to leave up a counter spell. We will fetch here. We will just get another Forest. Got another Hardened Bonds, which was not really what we're looking for. We'll make them use their counter spell, which they do not have. They don't have anything, it seems like. We're just going to fetch now, because we want to get another one of these Hardened Bonds down, and they don't have anything. I have a feeling we're going to see a Divine Purge probably this turn. Okay, they have a negate effect. They have Dovin's Veto. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, we would love to find anything that makes counters. We are out of lands now, which is kind of unfortunate. Getting to play this Ouroboros this turn would be amazing if we draw a land. Whenever creature controls put a loyalty counter. Okay, this is not scary at all. Alright. A land would be amazing. We find Ignoble Hierarch. Well, that wasn't really what we're looking for. I was unfortunate not to find a land. We are playing 25 lands. There's maybe a world where you want to play 26 in this deck because of Hardened Bonds, but this deck does flood out a lot. Okay, they just play a land. We'd love to see them just tap out again. Okay, they play Beza. That's ideal. So now we will get to get this Ouroboros down. Beza makes me think they're not playing Wraths in the main deck. Okay, we find another Scales. That's pretty good, but not what we're looking for. We get to draw 2 now. And here we go. No attacks. They've got to be careful here. So this is the one thing with Hardened Bonds, is when you're really just hunting for lands for like Scythecat Cub, having the Ice-Till Explorer in your deck was nice to just hit off Hardened Bonds. There's maybe a world you want to play 1, just to hopefully seek it up, but I just found Ice-Till was good at grinding, but it didn't really play into what this deck was trying to do, with just being as aggressive as possible. If they can't destroy all creatures this turn, this game is possibly just over. Okay, they're going to tick up and get in with Beza. We'll probably not even block. I mean, they draw a card. No, it just puts a loyalty counter. Yeah, we will happily take 4 if they attack. They don't attack. We draw land. So here, let's play Hardened Scales, see what they do. They absorb. Okay. Let's see if they have another counterspell, because we'll Scythecat Cub. Play our land. Target Ouroboros. Draw 2 more cards. We draw Badger Mole, Chocobo. So we're going to leave those back, just in case they do wrath the board, and we're just going to send everything at them. This way we can, like, really quickly rebuild next turn. Okay, they're just going to take it. That's fine. Alright, well, that was game 1 in the books. Okay, weird matchup. Do we want these? Do we even want the Pithing Needles? I mean, we could just run it back. I'm not really afraid of Dovin. I think we just run this back. This is a matchup where we really want to have Hardened Bonds. We'll probably see some enchantment removal coming in here. Game 2, we have our Hardened Bonds. We have some ways to make counters. We would like to find more lands, but beggars can't be choosers. They just play a tap land. Okay, we do find another land. That was fantastic, because now we can play Bristly Bill on 2, and then Scythecat Cub, and possibly get in for a lot of damage next turn. Or not next turn, 2 turns from now. Okay, they just play another land. We play our Bristly Bill. If we draw... We'll see what we draw. Okay, they just leave up Absorb. Interesting. I think we try for the Cub. They probably counter this. Yep, they just Absorb. We're gonna play land. Put a counter on Bill. Seek a card. We find another Spring Heart. Since we drew Spring Heart, I think I'm not gonna fetch this Fabled Passage. Odds are we don't need 3 mana next turn, and we'd like to just keep these pumping. We'll probably Bestow next turn. Notably, Bestow, against the Dovin Veto opponent, this does make it into a non-creature spell. You do have to be a bit careful about that. Actually, you know what am I thinking? We're gonna fetch here. They remove Bristly Bill, they remove Bristly Bill. Do this, draw another card. Find Chocobo into Earthbender's Ascension. So let's bait with the Scales. See what they have. Okay, they just full tap out for Mystical Dispute. If they have Force of Negation, they have Force of Negation. We'll just get Springheart and Intuko on. Pass the turn. Because now if they kill Bristly Bill, our Springheart will come down as a 2-2. They have 4 lands. We'd love to see them tap out because we want to resolve this Earthbender's Ascension. One notable thing about Earthbender's Ascension is this gives Trample, which can be really relevant in this deck because Scythecat Cub is our only creature with Trample, and our creatures get quite large. Okay, they play Monk class. Interesting. They're doing something spicy. Okay, so they're going to bounce our Bristly Bill. That's fine. We draw Fetch Land. Okay, so we are going to play Bristly Bill, play Chocobo, play our land. We get to make a bunch of triggers. Seek a creature. We find another Bristly Bill. And we're just going to get in for 3. We'll crack this on their turn to draw another creature card. Next turn, we have access to Ouroboros if they tap out for like a Do or a Beza, is really what we were hoping they would play. Okay, so in that case, this is going to be a 1/3. So if we draw another land, our Bristly Bill can start putting counters on. So do we want to crack this? So if we draw land, an Ouroboros, I think we do. So if we find another Ouroboros, if we find Badger Mole is a good hit here. Let's make Chocobo big enough to get in over Beza. Okay, we do find Ouroboros with the counter on it. So now we can play Ouroboros, play a land, Bristly Bill triggers, put the counter on Ouroboros, we seek Badger Mole. Everything is gigantic. Get in. And this is the real power of Ouroboros. You can make it so big so fast. If this Scales had resolved, this thing was going to be an absolute monster. And they just die. They do not want to block with their fish. Bold strategy to just refuse to block, but, I mean, we'll take the win. Alright, match 2 on the draw. We have a mostly unkeepable opening hand. This hand would be great if, like, one of these was just a forest, but we have a weird second hand. We're going to keep this. This is going to be depending on what we play against. Okay, black-green, Young Wolf. Okay, so we want to just get going. I was going to say, it depends on which we want to play here first, Hardened Bonds or Hardened Scales. Okay, Badger Mole Cub is quite strong. If they get in for 1. No blocks. Okay, finding a land here makes me want to Scales. Let's put a counter on Hardened Bonds. Get him for 2. There's a world where we just die next turn, which is not what we really want to have happen. We could make this Chocobo gigantic, but it's going to be a little bit sketchy. We'll see what we draw off the Bountiful Landscape, I guess. Okay. They just Dredger's Insight. That's fine. They find nothing, really. They can get Boseiju, I guess. They just get Vista. See what they play. They just get Forest. And they Haywire Might. Okay, that's quite good. Let's see which one they go after. I feel like, yeah, they might be more scared of the Bonds than the Scales. I think we probably want to see them keep Hardened Scales. Okay, they do have to go after Hardened Scales. Yeah, this matchup's a bit tough. We do have the Stone of E-Reaches, which is nice. We find Ignoble Hierarch. So I think what we want to do, maybe, is Earthbender's Ascension here. Let's see what we draw off of Landscape. Okay, we find Ouroboros, so we definitely just want to Earthbender's Ascension. Activate our Forest. There's a world where you want to put it on Bountiful Landscape to get more landfall triggers, but I think with Ouroboros, I think this is fine. We really want to get this to trample as soon as possible before they can just kill us. Okay, they Yawgmoth. Yawgmoth's quite scary here. They pass. So we can just Ouroboros. They can make this 0 power. But I think we have to do it, see if they go for it. Not finding a land was kind of tough. Let's see if they do. Okay, they just let this happen. We get another Bristly Bill. We get him for 6. They're going to block probably and sacrifice. So we really want to find land to start pumping this. Because if we find fetch land specifically, we can give something trample. Okay, they're going to shrink Ouroboros, draw a card. They can sacrifice their land to shrink their Young Wolf again. They find another Young Wolf, we probably lose. We have 1 cord in the graveyard. Okay, they do find another Young Wolf. So we really want to find fetch land if we're not just dead here. Oh, they're actually, no, they're just going to draw their whole deck. They are going to win this game, I believe. With Dredger's Insight. Let's see what they can do. Okay, they cord for 2, which is probably going to get Blood Artist. Yep, okay, they got us. That is going to be an infinite loop that kills us. That's pretty good. Okay, so we get to bring our Stone of E-Reaches in and our Pithing Needles. Endurance is not that great against them. In these types of matchups, I'm going to trim the Bristly Bills and the Spring Hearts, just because we don't need to grind like that. Trim one card. Maybe we do just want 2 Needles and not the full 3. Just run it back like this. We have so many enchantments that we're not too worried about their Haywire Mites. This was a matchup I haven't played against Yawgmoth that much. This is a hand. Certainly a hand. We keep this. We have to keep this. They mulligan. We're just gonna play Ignoble on turn 1. If they have Fatal Push, they have Fatal Push. We really want to find Hardened Bonds, probably. Okay, they play Overgrown Tomb. They play their own Ignoble. We are going to activate Fabled Passage, get a Forest, play Badger Mole. Okay, we need to find some action here. Or Boread would be a great draw. Or Boread would be an amazing draw. Let's see, they have access to 3 mana. They just Badger Mole. Their land, they have 2 more mana. Let's see what they have. Maybe another Dredger's Insight. So they have a removal spell for our Badger Mole. Okay. Okay, and then the Young Wolf. Got it. We do find Ouroboros. So let's Scales. Let's Ignoble. Let's Pithing Needle, naming Yawgmoth. Okay, sorry, I was just Googling to make sure I named the right one. And we're gonna play Fabled Passage. Pass the turn. They need to progress their board a lot this turn. We will get to just play Ouroboros. Okay, they have Grist. That was quite good. Quite good. Grist is very strong against us. Yeah, they make a 1/1. Let's see if they attack. They play Ignoble. Okay. We want them to get in with these 2 so we can maybe get this Grist down to not be able to kill Ouroboros. They just get in with Badger Mole. Got it. Get in for 4. No blocks. Grist is going to be a problem. Unless we draw a Pithing Needle again. Maybe we did want the 3rd Pithing Needle. And tapped. We draw another Scales. I mean, I guess we just force them to Grist us. We get to make our board gigantic, but it's not that big. Another Ouroboros off the top would be good. It's really your best draw. Okay, they're going to sacrifice 1 Young Wolf. This is a tough matchup for us. They kind of hit all of our weaknesses. Okay. Do another Ignoble. So we really need... We'd like to find... Oh, they're hitting us for 5 now. Another Ouroboros would be very good. Prismatic Vista was not it. We passed the turn. Earthbender's Ascension would have been good that turn. It's going to be a lot worse this turn. And make a 1/1. We probably have to double block Badger Mole here. We have a Fatal Push. I mean, them having Fatal Push is tough. We're getting in with the Yawgmoth. This will be a 5/7. I mean, we double block whatever they send at us. Because we're probably supposed to triple block. Okay. They just send their Yawgmoth in to die. They have another Yawgmoth. We find another Scales. Pass the turn, and this one's over now. Who they drew? It's giving Court of Calling. No, they found Sephiroth. Okay, that's really good. Yeah, they got this one. We can see what we draw. But they have, like, infinite cards. They can kill something, yeah. This one we just kind of stalled out. We took this hand in hopes of drawing something. We named the wrong thing with Pithing Needle. This is just a tough matchup in general. They're a combo deck that fights us in the axes that we're bad at. Which is their creature-based combo deck that floods the board with a bunch of little guys. We didn't draw particularly well. I mean, I'll give us our draw step, but we only have 3 mana now. Okay, they're just fully getting in. Beat this Badger Mole. We go to 2. We go to 1. They flip. Okay. Alright, well, that was a boring one. I'll see you in game 3. Match 3 on the play. We have a very interesting opening hand. It's good if we draw lands. We have a tap land on turn 1. I think we mulligan this. Okay. Well. Not the best 6 I've ever seen, but we'll keep it. We play Forest on turn 1. We just run the Springheart and Tuca out on turn 2, probably, just to have something to play. Play Hopeful Initiate. Okay. Earthbender's Ascension was a really good draw. If this lives, we get to just make a heck of a board. You're just reading Springheart. Let's not see a removal spell. They can remove this next turn. We want it to live 1 turn. Or just remove it never. Okay, so they're like humans or something. Like black-white humans. There's Thalia. That's actually a bit annoying because it makes our Earthbender's Ascension more expensive. We draw Fetch Land. We'll play Fetch Land, make a 1/1, pass the turn. So the idea is here, we get to fetch, have 3 guys to Ouroboros next turn, and if they can't answer Ouroboros, they are going to take this game over. Okay, they make a 2/2 that's tapped, and they Thalia's Lieutenant. That's pretty sick. Okay. Pump their board. They get in for 5. That's pretty good against us. They get in for 6. We will take 6 pretty happily. They have a removal spell for our first Ouroboros. It's a bit unfortunate. Okay. Get a land, make another 1/1. Play a land, make another 1/1. Play Ouroboros. Pump our board. So if they play another Thalia's Lieutenant, they go... So they go land, make this into an actual creature, play Thalia's Lieutenant. This will be 4, 8, 12, 15. Let's just get in with the Springheart. We will win this long game. We don't need to get too aggressive. These Ouroboros will take over the game. We just don't need to just randomly lose to something. This is maybe a bit passive, but I just can't imagine that the humans deck is going to be able to go over the top of 2 Ouroboros, especially if they can't remove this one. I mean, our entire board next turn is going to be unkillable. Okay, there's the other Thalia's Lieutenant. They don't make their Mutavault into a guy. They have double Thalia's Lieutenant. That's quite strong. They just get in. What do we want to do here? So we can double block like this and take 8. We can also just double chump. What are we afraid of? I think let's just double chump. The double Ouroboros is going to take this game over, especially with the Springheart and Tuco to just like fill our board back up. This is going to win us the game. Yeah, we draw another land, which is amazing. Make another guy. So the question is, do we play Ouroboros, make our board massive, or do we play Earthbender's Ascension and just make 2 more bodies? I think we just want to make 2 more bodies. So let's go green, green, Earthbender's Ascension. They have Reprieve. I mean, Reprieve means this doesn't really matter either way we go. Make our land into a 2/2. Get a basic. This is also going to start letting us work towards Trample. Ouroboros is going to trigger. Make everything giant. We'll get in for 8. We're just chilling. They have something. They just take 8. Okay. Okay. And they have Cathar Commando. Pretty good. Now, their Thalia's Lieutenant would be quite strong here. They have infinite ways of removing this, but that's fine. We just need these Ouroboros to stick around. Next turn, this is going to put we're going to put 9 counters on all of our creatures. Okay, Coppercoat Vanguard. Tick up. They're going to have a hard time getting in now. We're at 8. These all can attack, so if they activate this, we just die. Okay, we're dead if they attack with everything. See, this is what I was afraid of. This is why I was just blocking. I think they're doing the math. So that's 4. Yeah, they're dead if they attack, or we're dead if they attack with everything. Crazy. They want to cast that spell. They play Voice of Victory. Holy smokes. Okay. So we're not dead anymore, but we're going to have a hard time killing them. They just get in with the Lieutenants and the Vanguard. Okay, they're getting in with everything, actually. Okay, block. Take 5. We get a lot of this crap off the board. We draw land. We play land. Is this just gonna kill? This might just kill. Because they can't block everything. Yeah, they... Okay. I mean, we will take that. They didn't do the math. That got scary. I mean, we just run this back. These are the exact type of matchups we want to play against. That one got scary. I'm glad that I was playing as passively as I was, because we lose that game if I attack with an extra insect the turn before. Ouroboros in these fair matchups, just like, it just adds so much power. If you ever get two of them, I mean, they just take over a game. You saw that there. They put 9 counters on all of our creatures. We keep this. Turn 2 Badger Mole's just really good in these types of matchups. Okay, they play Esper Sentinel. We play a tap land. They draw Mutavault into Coppercoat Vanguard. Get him for 2. We draw Forest. So we're going to play Badger Mole. Target Bountiful Landscape. This way we can get an extra landfall trigger later if we want. Okay, just play another land. Let's see if we see... Okay, Sheltered by Ghosts is pretty good here. Who we draw? They get in for 5. That's pretty good. They gain 3. We draw Springheart and Tuco. Interesting. I think we want to Springheart and Tuco. They have Mana Tithe? Holy, okay, well. I mean, you gotta respect the Mana Tithe gamer. You gotta respect the Mana Tithe gamer. Okay, so they then... Oh! What the heck? We're getting owned right now. Night Clubber with Blitz? Yuck. They hit us to 5. They sacrificed their Night Clubber. And now I'm just so nervous about Mana Tithe. Okay, so we got a Bill. We've got a Chocobo. You have another Mana Tithe? No, okay. Tick up, tick up. We'll put it all in on the Chocobo. And we'll play Hardened Bonds. You can draw a card. That's fine. Man, that Mana Tithe was good. Because that just is really... We would really love to have just a bunch of 1/1s right now. Okay, they make their Mutavault into a guy. They have a removal spell, we're kind of cooked. They have another Sheltered by Ghost. Okay, that beats us. Yuck. Alright. Tough game for us. We will trade. We're trading there. I mean, they got us. That was a great draw from our opponent. That Night Clubber was backbreaking. Do we want Force of Vigor? I don't think so. That was an awkward draw from us, a fantastic draw from them. Their draw lined up really well against our draw. We got Mana Tithe. Not a whole lot you can do about that. Mana Tithe is particularly good against us because a lot of our spells we want to play before playing our land. Humans are putting up a fight. Game 3, we have a very interesting hand here. It's not very over-the-top powerful. It's very ramp powerful. I don't know if we can afford to mulligan this. Chocobo on turn 1 is really good in this matchup, it seems. I think we keep this and just hope that we draw something like powerful to do with these Badger Moles. I mean, Badger Mole powering out an Ouroboros is quite strong. They play Esper Sentinel. We draw second Chocobo, was fantastic. So now we get to go Chocobo, Landfall trigger, play Ignoble Hierarch. Get him for 2. If we draw a fetch land, we get the guy to go crazy with these Badger Moles now and start earthbending the fetch lanes to really power up our Chocobos. Fetch land, Hardened Scales would be a good draw here. I mean, honestly, most of our deck is a good draw. Okay, so there comes a Sheltered by Ghosts. They have to eat this Chocobo. That's fine if that's what they're using their Sheltered by Ghosts on. No blocks. We draw Ouroboros. I mean, yeah, we just... If they have another Sheltered by Ghosts, they have another Sheltered by Ghosts. I'm hoping that oops means it's because they used their Sheltered by Ghosts on a Chocobo and not on an Ouroboros. But if they spend their turn putting another Sheltered by Ghost on this Esper Sentinel, that's the most suspicious attack I've ever seen in my entire life. I don't I don't know what they're representing there, but I'm not loving it. Okay, so we get to play land. Pick up our Chocobo. Play a Badger Mole. Target this land. 8 green. Okay, they can't have Settle the Wreckage. That's like my big fear. Target this land, because if our lands die, they get to come back in for Chocobo. Do you have a way to answer Ouroboros? Okay, now that this is on the stack, so fun fact about Ouroboros, if the ability goes on the stack and they kill it, you still get all the counters because, okay, they Cathar Commando. That's fine. They can trade with one of our lands, but that pumps our Chocobo back up. Okay. Okay, they just block. Take a lot. So if it dies, it still looks at what the most recent power was. Okay, they concede. So yeah, let me explain this now before I lose my train of thought. So Ouroboros, the trigger goes on the stack. They kill Ouroboros in response. The ability then sees what the most recent power and toughness of the Ouroboros was and sees that it was still like a 2/4 if they killed it there, and gives all your creatures +2 counters. If they killed it with something that was like, give it -X/-X, obviously it would see it having 0 power. But that's a little fun fact about Ouroboros that makes that card really hard to deal with if they let it go on the stack. Anyways, that was match 2. That got a bit scary, but that game 3 was not close. I'll see you in match 4. Alright, match 4. I think this hand's good. We get to start taking up this Earthbender's Ascension on turn 2, which is pretty good. We're ramping. I'd love if this was a Hardened Bonds. We'd love to find Hardened Bonds with this hand. Okay, they just play tap land. We really don't need more fetch lands. We don't need more lands in general right now. Having all these fetch lands is nice if we find an eventual Sidecat Cup. Okay, so they're just like Jeskai Control, which is a bit of a scary matchup. That is not one that I've played against very often. You have Spell Pierce? No. Getting our Earthbender's Ascension down is pretty nice here. Having 2 Bossing Says is also quite nice here. We're going to be able to just keep making creatures. Okay, they peek at us. They could be like, I don't know, peek is freaky. That's a freaky one. This is like Lotus Field or something. Okay, they just Fragment Reality or Earthbender's Ascension. We find Nantuko. I mean, that's got to be pretty good for us. Nantuko is one of the worst guys we could get here because it just goes wide into their Wraths, as opposed to like finding a Scythecat Cup. Okay, they just instantly kill it. All right. That is fine for us. We find Mr. Bristles. So let us make a green, play Hardened Scales. Play Bristly Bill. We'll play Bountiful Landscape since this one's always going to come into play tapped. We'll pump up our Forest. We'll crack it again. I'm not worried about using our fetch lands here because we have so many. If we do find Hardened Bonds too, we have Bossing Say to put counters on stuff to start drawing creature cards, which would be like the real fear of using our, like if Bristly Bill dies here. Okay, they're just going to Shanty Bristly Bill. That's fine. They just have like a gigantic land they have to worry about. Play another land. Tap this for green. And yeah, see, and then this is the power of Bossing Say, because we just get to make a 3/3 here, get in for 9. And like if they wrath the board, we just get to instantly make a 3/3 again next turn. They him. I mean, they drew like the worst lands. They drew the perfect trifecta of tap lands. Okay, they just concede. We drew a Scythecat Cub. That was a great match to win game 1 in. Springheart Nantuko is not going to be as good in this matchup. I think we'll just bring in 2 Endurances. So they're probably on Snapcaster Mage or like Treasure Cruise, something to do with the graveyard, maybe like a Calum. So I think just having 2 Endurances. The Springheart Nantukos are really good in other forms of grindy matchups. They're really grindy, but in these matchups where they're almost definitely playing like Divine Purge and Supreme Verdict or Anger of the Gods, having a bunch of 1/1s around isn't doing a whole lot for us. This is a fantastic hand. We're going to keep. We're going to play Hardened Bonds on 1. Getting in for 1 on turn 2 isn't as important as just resolving a Hardened Bonds. And so we will get to just Chocobo, play land next turn, pick it up, play a second Hardened Bonds. They play a Sacred Foundry. We play Chocobo. Play a land. Pump up our Chocobo. Draw another card. We draw Ignoble Hierarch. I think we're going to play that over second Hardened Bonds. Especially with Badger Mole. They Divine Purge. That's fine. So let us Hardened Bonds. Play a land. Play Badger Mole. Draw 2. We seek. We find Endurance Badger Mole. Pass the turn. They play a land. They Divine Purge again. This land will still come back. However, it will cost 2 more. Go to our turn. We draw Bossing Say. So let us Badger Mole. Target our forest. We get to seek 2 new creatures. We draw Sidecut Cub. We're going to play this one because I have a feeling this one's not going to live. Target up our forest. And play another Ignoble Hierarch. And this is just the real power of Hardened Bonds. Is now all of our creatures, we're drawing 2 extra cards a turn that are guaranteed to be spells and not lands. They cycle. That is bad for them. Because, I mean, they're just dead next turn. They play, okay. They play a land. We are going to forest. Put a counter here. Seek 2 new creatures. We draw 2 more Scythe Cats. So we're gonna Earthbenders. We're just gonna go for a ton of damage here. We're gonna make this into a 5/5. Get another land. Pick up. Double the counters. Get in for 15. And we're gonna pass. I'm gonna leave up just Endurance here. They Wrath. They Wrath. Yep, they just concede. I mean, having the cycle in turn 3 there, but they just went Wrath, Wrath, and we ended the game with 5 cards in hand. Next turn, we were going to just fully rebuild again. That was a great match. All right, we finished match 4 3-1, which means we are 1 win away from a 4-1 record, which is really what we're shooting for, so that I can get my gems back. So, hopefully we can get there. I'll see you in game 5. Match 5 on the play, playing for all the marbles. This hand is almost really good, but we only have 1 land. This hand sucks, but we'll keep it. And put a forest back. And play Chocobo. Hello. Let's see what they do. Good game. They play a swamp. We play scales. We play a land. We play another Chocobo. I mean, this is about as aggressive as a start as we can get. They play another swamp. And to kill our Chocobo, which is rude. We draw fetch land. We will just play. Fetch land. We will just make this a 4-power creature. Get in for 4. Pass the turn. Next turn we can start bossing Sang, which is pretty good. Okay, Ventures in. They gain 2 life. They Tainted Remedy. That's scary. That's very, very scary. Okay, so we are going to... Let's just get him for as much damage as we can here. We'll just make this 8 power. We'll Earthbend. Not really what we want to be doing, considering they're going to try to combo kill us, I assume. They're going to double their life total. The opponent would gain life. They lose that much life instead. Okay, so they just kill our Chocobo. That's fine. We draw Bonds. Let's just go in on this forest. Hit for 6. Hit them down to 2. This puts them dead to Bossing Say next turn. Do they have the kill? Each player sacrifices a creature token. Each player this is a non-token creature. Okay. Land comes back. We draw Badger Mole. So this Earthbend's 2, so we can... Huh. So we have 6 lands. So this will put us down to 4. Yeah, this... No, we can't quite kill. We can hit them for 3. Yuck. Okay. Let's Hardened Bonds. Let's Badger Mole. What do we find? Find another Badger Mole. Okay, that kills. Badger Mole, target the forest. Alright. That was a very lucky Badger Mole, but play to our outs instead of just playing the bossing say. I mean, we bring in the Force of Vigors. They're up to something. Let's just take out the bills, I think, and just run it back like this. We didn't see Wraths. We saw Edicts, so I think Springheart Nantuko is going to be pretty good here. We'll see. Bell's a pretty good removal spell for them to have for us specifically, just so that we can it's sorcery speed. So we'll at least get some attacks with our guys. We'll see if they have the turn 1 removal spell for a Hierarch. Okay, they Thoughtseize, actually. Probably take Scales here. No, they just take a Chocobo. Okay. Bossing Say was great. So this is, if they don't have a removal spell, which is unlikely, this hand can do something really cool with Scythe Cat Cub Chocobo. You get to just nuke your opponent from orbit. Okay, they Edict us. That's fine. We play Chocobo, play a land, play our Scales. Pass the turn. Hopefully they just tap out for their Tainted, whatever it's called again. Okay, Quasi-Revenant. We draw another Scales. So we can make this gigantic. That's annoying. And I think we go for it. Actually, no, we're gonna just start pumping our Cub. We're gonna just start pumping our Cub. Play Scales. And we're just gonna pass. We don't want to trade here and then have them have another Edict. If they just kill the Cub, they kill the Cub. They pass again. We draw another Scythe Cat Cub. They have something. Play a land. I mean, we'll just pump this Cub up now. Get in for 15. They can block the Chocobo now, but then we have 2 Scythe Cat Cubs alive. Yeah, they have to block there. They take 12 to 9 with lifelink. They go to 6. Up to 9. We have a Bossing Say with 2 Hardened Scales, so this just makes 4/4s every time you activate it. If we find another fetch land, the Scythe Cat Cub is going to become gigantic. I love this card. This card's, if you've never played with this card's so sick. They sacrifice a creature to, yeah, we'll sacrifice Chocobo. We draw Badger Mole. I mean, that just kills, right? I mean, that's just game. Hitting mono black is kind of nice. This is a very weird mono black deck, but I mean, that was a very, very quick mono black matchup. We get to go 4-1 here, losing only to Yawgmoth, which is just a pretty terrible matchup for this deck. I will say, this was a weird example of this deck since we played against some really rogue decks. Mono White Humans in particular was a really fun one. I mean, Jeskai Control, Jeskai Control and like Mono Black Control, but the Mono Black like cards I own control. Those 2 decks just kind of got ran over. I think if they were more optimal versions of those decks, those matchups would have been a bit closer. But we can't look a gift horse in the mouth. We did win both of those matchups very convincingly. The Mono White Humans one was the closest of all of our wins, but we still won that one pretty convincingly, and I don't even remember what we played against in round 1. Something that was blue, I think? Truly, don't remember. Anyways, this deck is really cool. This is not the last time you're going to see of me playing a land like this. I really love this deck. I'm really happy with how it came out. This is definitely one of my favorite decks I've ever brewed in my life. It's just so powerful. It's absurdly powerful. You put so much power into play so quickly. Scythe Cat Club plus Chocobo. We didn't get to actually see it this last game, but it just kills people out of nowhere. I'm really, really impressed with this deck. You're going to be seeing more of it. I have a green-white version I've been working on. If you have any feedback on the deck or the videos in general, please let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to know. Please like and subscribe and do the whole YouTube thing. I've been really enjoying making these videos for you, and I hope you enjoy watching them. Thank you.